Yeah, my basic background is I started as a philosopher, which means I'm very interested in what are the fundamental ideas that shape our thinking and our action. And I'm particularly interested in thinking methods. How do you, before you approach a problem, what are the methods and the principles that you use to determine the answer? And about 15 years ago, I started learning some facts about fossil fuels that made me confident that the dominant way of thinking about fossil fuels, which is that we need to rapidly eliminate them, is involves very, very bad thinking methods. And the main thinking method that I observed is that we are ignoring the benefits of something and only paying attention to the negative side effects, which, if you make that error in any field, is deadly. So if you make it with a prescription drug, you only look at the negative side effects and not the benefits, you're not going to make good medical decisions. And what I learned pretty quickly about fossil fuels is they have some enormous unique benefits that are not discussed. For example, the use of oil and natural gas in agriculture are literally necessary to keep 8 billion people alive, period. And then certainly at today's standard of living compared to the past where we just lived in manual labor and the planet certainly couldn't support 8 billion people. And yet I noticed that some of our leading thinkers, when they discussed these ideas of rapidly eliminating fossil fuels, they wouldn't mention the benefits of fossil fuels, including the agricultural benefits. And one example I cite in my book, and you mentioned the moral case for fossil fuels, but my current book and the most up-to-date one is this one. It's called Fossil Future: Why Global Human Flourishing Requires More Oil, Coal, and Natural Gas, Not Less. I bring up the example of Michael Mann, who's a climate activist and also climate scientist, and he has a whole book about fossil fuels and energy and climate, and he only mentions negatives of fossil fuels in agriculture, but he doesn't mention oil-powered machinery that makes us far more productive, and he doesn't mention natural gas fertilizer. And I think people like him are a big reason why we're in a global energy crisis, because they are denying the benefits of fossil fuels and leading us to make terrible decisions. So once I saw that some of our leading so-called experts were thinking about this issue in a very irrational way, it motivated me to become an energy expert as well as a philosopher. And I've been working on that for the last 15 years.